Hi everyone. So I'm back with 15 lessons I learned in 15 years of marriage. This is part 2, and so I'm just going to get right into it. There's no point. Number 6. So number 6 is something I started with. Started talking about in number 5, which is that marriage is an assignment, it's not a reward. So marriage is not a reward, it's an assignment. And this sometimes is very hard to grasp. But for me, I think God made it really easy for me from the very beginning. He made it very clear to me that it's not about the dancing at your wedding. It's not about the, all the pizzazz, the hair, the dress, the decor. It wasn't about any of those things. It wasn't about the first couple dance. It wasn't about any of those things. I knew very clearly and from time what I was getting into. God made it very clear that marriage for me was going to be ministry. He's a ministry to him. And so when I got married, in fact, on the day of my wedding, I'll tell you a little story. On the day of my wedding, I was like someone going to slaughter. I was so scared. I was scared not because I was afraid of getting married to Pascal. Of course not. He was my best friend at the time. He was so easygoing. He was so down to earth. So I knew, and he made it very clear to me that he had been waiting for me all these years. So he was very grateful to have found me. So I knew it was going to be a great time being his wife. But I was like that because I felt like this thing God is asking me to go and do. Is he sure? Like, is he sure I can handle it? Is he sure I can handle such handing over such greatness to me? Because I knew my husband was going to be great. I knew that God was going to use him for great things. I knew God had given me a lot of scriptures and promises and revelations concerning him before I even agreed to marry him. So it was very divine for me. So I knew it wasn't something to be played with or something to be toyed with. So when I was getting into the church, I was literally shaking and just thinking, God, this is it. Like, if I get to that altar and I say my I do, I can't change my mind again. Am I sure? God, are you sure we can do this? Are you sure I can do this? Are you sure you can trust me to do this? Would I listen? Would I be submissive enough? Do I have everything? The intelligence, the spirituality, the strength, the stamina, the endurance that marriage requires. I just kept thinking about a lot of things. Me, that if everything is not perfect, I'm out. Like, can I do this? So I didn't know that it was showing all over me because I was literally shaking. When I got into the hall, I couldn't breathe because I had flooded my head with so many what if. So when I got to the front, I lifted my veil. I started beside Pastor. Okay, I couldn't breathe. And then he said to me, no, put down your veil. I'm the one that has to raise that. I said, my brother, let me breathe first. Now, who they alive, now they marry. So after I put it back down. And when we're taking our vows, God, every vow I made felt like I'm signing up for something bigger than me. I'm signing up for something bigger than me. At some point, the pastor said to me, he said, because we're related, and he said to me, Isioma, because he calls me Isioma, he said, Isioma, if you don't stop shaking, I'm going to put an end to this wedding now. He said, are you sure about this? I said, yes. Like I knew, and then Pascal now leaned towards me and says, you're embarrassing me. Why are you shaking like that? I said, I'm shaking because my brother, if I say this, I can't go home again. Do you understand? I don't know. And that's the consciousness with which I entered marriage. I knew that I was getting into marriage to partner with God. I knew that it was me agreeing to work with God to help this man be all that he can be. And honestly, I know that he probably had that same agreement with Pastor K, but for me, I'm usually very serious about things. If I promise you something, I'm very committed to it. And I felt like this is not something I should joke about because I was making this promise to God. The vow was to God. And so it was something that I took very seriously. I knew that it wasn't going to just be all glam and all those things. I knew it was an assignment. I knew it was like God banking on me to help this man be everything. And so in these 15 years, one of the things God has helped me to do is to be there, be a partner, a real partner, not partner in name, but a real partner, a partner in ministry, a partner in making him better, rubbing off on each other. It's been 15 years of following the same assignment. God gave us something to do. He's put a calling on us. I'm making sure that I make it easy for him to lead me. submitted to him and to God, submitted to the goal. I'm given to the goal. And I'm one of those, if I believe in something, I can die for it kind of people. So I am like that, I can be all in. And that's what marriage really is. Marriage is 100%. It's not 50-50. It's giving your all and doing it all. So for me, I understood that it would be ministry to God, and that's what it's been for me. And that's why I've been so committed to giving him my all. The fact that I see it as ministry to God. I see us having a great marriage as God showing the world what is possible. Is our marriage perfect? No. But it is God showing you what he can do if you hand over something to him, okay? And then another thing is, a lot of people think that marriage is just about your happiness. How you say it's not a reward, it's just an assignment. I beg you, me, I know for that one. I want to have marriage that me, I'm going to enjoy. Yes, that's a benefit. Your joy and your happiness in marriage is a benefit. And me, I benefited. Marriage has favored me, I no go lie. My husband spoils me a lot. I'm totally, marvelously spoiled by God and by my husband. Totally loved, totally honored and everything. But I've also realized that the purpose is actually to glorify God. The joy and the benefits and the blessings we get are just, they're just benefits. But the real core assignment that God gives you in marriage is to glorify him. So when people say things like, I'm done, I'm out, I'm like, you can't be out because you failed. Do you understand? That's how I see it. It's an assignment and you're failing at it and you're okay with it. We stick in, we stand there, we do what we need to do because we want to glorify God. And if you walk away, is God glorified? No. So for me, one of the biggest lessons I've learned that marriage is an assignment. It's not a reward. It's not for good behavior, because there are a lot of great girls who are not yet married. It's just who then send work first. and that's the easy way to put it. Okay, so number 7. This one. So recently I had a conference for single girls, Project Beautiful Conference, that's what it's called. And I had a sit down, like a chit chat with some of my girls, and I asked them their secrets to having a happy marriage. And everybody had different things that they said. But when they asked me, I think the most striking thing for me in marriage is the fact that if you're going to have a great marriage, you're going to have to practice advanced forgiveness. And for me, it's a big deal because unforgiveness is, I think, one of the biggest sins I struggle with in my life. Like, if you offend me, I'm out. I don't do that. I don't wait around for you to do the second one. I don't even wait for you, I'm sorry. I don't be going. Do you understand? I don't be going with I don't even want to know, I've always been those people that say things like, I can forgive you, but I can never forget, I've always been one of those people. So for me, it was a huge deal when God showed me that the only way to survive in marriage is advanced forgiveness, meaning that before they even offend you, forgive. So there's really nothing, and I say this by the grace of God, but I don't really think that there's anything that my husband can do now that cannot be forgiven. Because God has taught me that the only way to survive in marriage is to forgive before the offense even happens. Don't forgive him down. So I've given him his forgiveness, and that is not licensed to hurt me or to offend me, but it is me. It's also a way to protect your sanity and your joy in marriage. Yes, one of the ways to protect your sanity and your joy. So advanced forgiveness for me is one of the major things I've learned. I've learned how to forgive when he's sorry. I've learned when to forgive when I think I'm the only one that is seeing what he has done. I've learned to forgive when he's not sorry. I've learned to forgive when he apologizes. I've learned to forgive when he doesn't apologize. I think it's proof that marriage is not really between two perfect people. It's just between two great forgivers. If you can forgive, I think marriage will be easy for you. And one of the things that also helped us is from the very beginning, we had some major things we agreed about. So one of the first things we agreed was, if you're offended by something, don't sulk, just talk about it. So don't sulk, talk. We had that agreement from the very beginning. Don't even bother squeezing your face. I can't read your mind. Let me tell you. So when we got married, a few months into, possibly even a few weeks. A few months. A few months into getting married. I can't remember what it was, but Pascal did something that upset me. So my normal way of dealing with things at the time was, if I'm offended by something, I would just carry my face. I'll be sulking, I'll carry my face, I'll just be moving and doing, just carry my face literally. And a lot of us do it. That's the truth. A lot of us do that carrying your face. I'm not quarreling with you. I'm not keeping malice. So after all, I'm greeting, but you are not. But the relationship is not the way it should be. And if it's not the way it should be, then there's a problem. There is malice. You're not talking to him the normal way. No, I'm talking to him after if he greets me, I answer. It's not. That's not what God wants. So at the very beginning, he did something and I was carrying my face. And one of the things that happens to me is when I'm upset about something, I pray more. So I would pray more. So pain pushes me into God. It's what I've noticed. If somebody does something to me, I'll just ignore. If I don't shout and I just start praying about it, it means that I'm literally just shutting down and saying, God, I can't do this. You need to take over. So I was doing all that. And I noticed that at the time when I was sulking and praying and really quiet, staying on my own, my husband was praying more. You wake up in the morning, he'll pray in tongues, loud, and he'll be singing. And I was like, why is this man trying to purposely annoy me? Why is he being so loud and so as if, hey, you can be squeezing your face, so me, I shall have a relationship with God. Me, I'm okay. I'm going to make heaven. You just sit down, don't be adding things inside your brain. Only you by yourself. You are sitting having discussion. And the person you're even angry with doesn't even know you're angry. So my husband would be doing all those kind of things. And then one day I couldn't take it anymore. And I just said to him, I said, do you know you're wicked? And he was like, wicked? I said, yes. Like I've been upset for like a few days now. And I've been carrying my face and everything. My husband said, is that what that was? Hey! He said, all the while, he was thinking that I wanted time away to be sober and to reflect on the things of God. So he was challenged that, this girl cannot come and be doing spiritual things in this house more than me. So he too started praying more, started singing more. So see the person I was quarreling with, he was challenged by my quarrel. Was challenged to serve God more. So from that day, I knew that men, they are not like women. They're not among. Do you understand? So you'll be fighting yourself for no reason. So we had a conversation about it, and he said to me, oh, really? You know what? I don't read minds, though. So if you're upset about something, just call me and say, you stepped on me yesterday, and I don't like it. If I notice I stepped on you, I will say I'm sorry. If I did not know, I will still say I'm sorry. If I don't want to say I'm sorry, I will not say, but don't assume. And that's another problem in mind. Don't assume for me that I know what's going on. So just tell me. And so we agreed from that day. If you are angry, don't sulk, just talk. Just tell me this thing, I don't like it. I'll say sorry, we'll move on. And so we have a lot of moving on moments. Like don't tighten your chest. Just say it and move on. Life is so much easier than we make it. Marriage is easy. We're the ones that want to make it hard. You want to quarrel. You want your right. Marriage is not a place for standing up for your rights. That's what the Bible says, whether in bed or out. It's not. So don't get to that stage where you think it must be your way, it must be your right, the person must apologize. If it doesn't apologize, move on. Let there be a happy home. Okay, that's the important thing. So advanced forgiveness. I've practiced advanced forgiveness for the last 15 years. Some things are harder to forgive than others, but I have survived. Some things have been very annoying, I've survived. And the same way too, I've offended in many ways and he has forgiven me. Okay. Number 8. So number 8 of the 15 lessons I've learned in 15 years in marriage is to choose love daily. I know someone will say, choose love, what's that one? Literally, choose love the way God sees love. The love that is written in 1 Corinthians 13, that love. I choose it every day. Every day I wake up and I make a choice that today, irrespective of what this man does or does not do, I am going to be patient with him. I am going to be kind to him. I am not going to be easily offended. I am not going to be arrogant. I'm not going to be full of pride. I am not going to keep a record of the wrongs he has done to me. Every day I make it a choice. Every single day of my life, I make it a choice. That's one of the easiest ways to have a great marriage. So in these 15 years, I have fought daily. It's a choice. Because like I said to you, one of the things I've struggled with all my life is unforgiveness. So if somebody offends me, I say I don't wait around. I don't wait for you to be explaining that this is what I did, this is not what I did. You just go with your problem. That's how I am. So it is a daily battle. So every morning I wake up in the place of prayer, I say, God, give me a heart that is like yours. Because I think that you need to make that choice of love every day. It's not a feeling. That thing we call a feeling cannot sustain your marriage. It cannot. So it is that choice every day to do the right thing, irrespective of what he's doing. And like I said, God really made marriage easy for me, let me not lie. So I remember that the first year into marriage, God said to me that one of the things that would make it easy for me to have a good marriage is if I learn how to pace myself. So make small choices every day. So they have to be decisions that I would make every day. And God would say to me that love is not a feeling. You need to get that out into your head, that love is not a feeling. So in the place of prayer, God would say to me, open 1 Corinthians 13 and put your name there. Don't say love is patient, love is kind. Say Mildred is patient with Kingsley. Mildred is kind to Kingsley. Mildred keeps no record of the wrongs that Kingsley has done to her. So I would do these confessions every day. And I was doing them. And some days that he would, because you see, to be honest with you, I think that, like there's any other way I can be with you. Okay, anyhow, I think that one of the things that makes it such a big deal for me that we've been married for 15 years is the fact that we are so different. Everything in the natural world, everything naturally should make our marriage not work. Let me tell you why. So temperament-wise, we're very different. We're extremes. We're two extremes, temperament-wise. So my husband is the sanguine, meaning that he's very fun-loving, he's very adventurous, he's out there, he's a people person. I'm very melancholic. I like things to be perfect. I like my own space. I won't look for your trouble. If you look for my trouble, you will never forget that you encountered somebody. So, and my husband is not confrontational. So we're very extreme. So extreme opposites, So if my husband likes a certain thing, chances are I would like the opposite. My husband likes hot places. I like cold places. Like I can't even understand. The other day, I walked into his room and the room was so hot. I said, why are you determined to remember the days of poverty? And he was laughing. He said, how is often light poverty? It's natural fresh air. I said, my brother, honestly, light day. Why will we create the atmosphere of NEPA as taking light? Why no, I can't. All lights, My husband is if they've not shot somebody in the first 2 minutes of the movie, why are we wasting our brain now? And it's not like they've done something where we all have to plan how they would steal money and Me, I can watch mindless movies. Do Christmas movies, romantic movies. Those kind of movies that when you stand up and come back, you can know what happened and continue. Do you understand? I love to read. Like I'm those kind of people that can read the encyclopedia stuff. My husband, 2 minutes. If he hasn't, why? He will take. My husband can read a book for 15 years. There's some books he started when I got married. He hasn't finished them. He will read the portion he needs. He say, let me go and use this one and succeed first. I'll come back and read the rest. So he has, even in our parenting styles, I believe sometimes have conversations with children. My husband says, smack the silliness out of them. Do you understand? And then me, I may get them to do the right thing at the right time. He say, I beg, make we play. So I put my children to bed. Every day they must be in bed by 8:30. My husband will come at that 8:30 as they've just covered them. We've said prayer, good night. My husband will say, who wants to play? Everybody go scatter again. We'll start the process again. Come inside, so that people will not catch a cold. My husband will even go outside and bring hose out and spray them hose. Do you understand? So we can find reasons to fight every day if we want to. And one of the things I've learned about marriage is what you're looking for is what you will find. We can find reasons to fight every single day, but we made up our minds from the beginning. I told you about agreements we had. We had a lot of agreements. One of the agreements we had was that we will never fight in this marriage and abuse each other. It was one of the major agreements we had. If you don't like something, say it without insulting me. Don't make me feel stupid. Don't make me feel like I don't know what I'm doing. We can choose to disagree and be okay. Like, I don't like the way you're doing this thing, but you are the head, I will submit to you. Oh, no, it's fine. If you think this is where we should do it, then let's do it. But if it backfires, you will take responsibility for it. No problem. Do you understand? So we've always had that going. So I had to now make certain decisions. I won't always like the way he does things. I won't always like the things he does, but I make the decision to defer to him, to allow him have his way, to believe the best. Even if I don't agree or I suspect something, I will believe the best. So for my own sanity, for my peace of mind, for my joy, for my strength, the things that he says God said you should do. Do I always agree? No. But I will still submit it to God and say, God, I choose love. over arguments. I choose love over anger. I choose love over unforgiveness. So you have to choose love daily. It's a choice. And you know, I talked about advanced forgiveness. Forgiveness is not a feeling either. Forgiveness is a decision you make daily. So you have to choose love and forgiveness every single day of your marriage. Forgiveness is a decision. And I'll tell you why. You see, sometimes people say things like, I forgive you, but I will never forget. Forgiveness is not amnesia. It doesn't mean that you suddenly forget everything the person has done. No, that's not what forgiveness is. And I will tell you, because I'm the one person that studied forgiveness inside out, because it's the major thing that seems to trip me off every day. I mean, I want to make heaven. So anything that I feel is a problem, I will go and look at it and say, why am I not getting this thing? Why is this thing hard for me to do? You know, so people will say things like, oh, I forgive you, but I cannot forget. Oh, do you know the funny thing about God is that God expects that every time you forgive, every time you remember, because you will remember. If someone has offended you, remember. It's like somebody cuts a knife on your body now, and you say you see the scar, you won't know where you got the scar. As in, how now? It's not possible. So you forgive the person for cutting you, but every time you look at your hand, you're going to see a scar. And that's the problem with people hurting. People don't even know. Sometimes when they hurt you, they don't know that it is not really what they've done. It's the effects of what they've done. So a man cheating on his wife, for instance, it is not the fact that you slept with another woman that is the problem. It's part of the problem, but it's not the problem. The real problem is the things that come with it. So she's going to feel like she's not good enough. She's going to battle with self-esteem issues. She's going to deal with guilt. She's going to ask herself, is there something I wasn't doing? Was I not doing the right positions? Was I not doing this one? Was I not satisfying all his needs? She's going to ask herself that question. Then she's going to be angry. She's going to deal with anger. She's going to deal with triggers. And the thing about infidelity is that triggers are not just seeing the girl. You are a trigger. You are the one that committed the crime. So every time I see you, I'm going to struggle with forgiving you. So God is saying that every time this thing pops up, the feeling of pain, the feeling of hurt, the feeling of remembering, you make a decision. You say, I've decided to let it go, and I'm going to let it go. It's a decision. It's a daily decision until it becomes second nature, until your emotions know that anytime this thing pops up again, she's going to say she decided to let it go. So let us let it go before the thing reach there. So it's a battle that you're going to have to win. And you will offend each other in marriage. Let nobody deceive you. Let nobody. Do I always like my husband? No, but I love him. I love him. When I say it to him, he will laugh. He'll say, you don't like me, I like you all the time. Yeah. I know it's a lie, but it's good. Let them tell us those kind of things that is to deceive us. It's good. Let me believe that he likes me all the time. I don't think it's possible to like somebody 100% of the time, every time. No. There will be times they'll be annoying. There will be times they want, for instance, there are times I want to have my way. My husband doesn't want me to have my way. Do I like him then? No, I want to have my way. But I love him. So I'm going to respect him. So it's a decision that you must make daily if you're going to have a great marriage. And that's one of the things I've done for 15 years. I've chosen love daily, and I've chosen to make the decision to forgive every single day. Okay? So that's number 8. Number 9. I need to say this because having said all the things I've said, somebody will think, so what makes a great marriage? A great marriage is great not because it is perfect. So marriage is never going to be about perfection. Marriage is not about perfection. It's about, for me, it's about beating the odds together. It's about everything that this world or this life throws against you. Both of you together win. So in these 15 years, we've had so many things thrown at us. Everything you can imagine. But we've won. We've always beat the odds together. That's what God wants you to be, together. Two are better than one. They have a good reward for their labor. It says when one falls down, the other is able to pick him up. But woe is he who is alone. When you are alone and you fall, or when you are cold, the other person is able to keep you warm. But if you are cold alone, you don't have duvet, you don't have blanket, you don't even have wrapper. Cold go nearly kill you. So it's that being together, because life will throw things at you. It will definitely throw. I think every marriage gets a test. I don't think there's any marriage that doesn't get one. It may be, for us, at first, it was not having money. We survived. We were drinking garri with the thought of milk. I'll give you thought of milk just another day. But we were drinking garri with the thought of milk. There were days we were eating, I don't even know what we were eating. I'll just mix flour, cut pepper, cut onion, and fry it. I was like, we eat it joyfully, you know. There were times we didn't have money. We didn't have toothpaste. I would make it fun, because that's the good thing. My husband is so much fun. So we would make it, even that would make it fun. So he would say I should hold the toothbrush. Then he would press. This is the one that's power. He will now press the toothpaste. After pressing the toothpaste, he will now say, this paste is finished though. How are we doing then? I will now say, wait, what we're going to do next? We're now going to use scissors and cut it. We will now cut it and then now start scraping inside. We had those moments. We survived that one. If I remember, there was one time that we didn't have... It's not good to be ajabota too much. So me, I didn't grow up around stove, so I didn't know how to use the stove. You know, I grew up around the gas cooker thing. So when I got to my husband's house, it was one that really taught me how to use it. Even in school, I had a hot plate. You know, a friend of mine had a gas stove, but I never really could figure out the wick, how to put that wick, and I never could figure it out. So there was one day, probably didn't do it well. When we got married, my mom, of course, bought gas cooker, bought deep freezer, bought everything, microwave and everything, but we didn't have the money to buy the gas cylinder. So we had to wait it out, believe God for the money. So we had a gas cooker, but we didn't have money for cylinder. So one of the days I was using the green, they had this green, if you're in Nigeria, you know what I'm talking about, this green small round stove that most families have. So his mom had one in the house because we moved into their parents' house because there was nobody living in the house. You know, everyone had moved out, everybody had grown and married and gone. So being the last born, we just moved into the house. And we tried to renovate the house and stay there. So I didn't know how to do the stove, let me not lie. So I think I didn't do it well. And so when I just struck the match, the thing exploded in my face. I sat on the floor, covered in black soot. I cried that day, my husband laughed. He laughed so hard, he fell on the floor. He was laughing, he laughed and laughed and laughed. We survived all those moments. We're okay. I survived living with in-law. I will never forget one day. I cooked, in fact, we didn't cook with him, they have money. Went to visit my mom. My mom now gave us food. Of course, my parents didn't know any of this was going on. You know, that's another thing. You need to learn to protect your husband. That's another one. I don't want to go into that. So anyhow, went to my mom's place, and my mom is very fussy over her in-laws, her sons-in-law. She's very, because she has only 2 boys, I don't know. So she treats them as if God has given her heaven. So she was really, so she packed food, packed meat, everything. And so she cooked the food, and then we took it home. I put it in the kitchen. And then I was about to say, Pastor said, oh, that there's someone in church that had been calling, so let's go and see the person quickly, then we'll come back and eat. So we went out to eat. By the time we came back home, I could have sworn I lost my mind. I couldn't find the bowl of rice. I checked everywhere, checked microwave, checked deep freezer, I checked everywhere. I was went back into the car, checked the boot, checked the front seat, I see my mother gave me the food, and I remember carrying it and putting it in the car and putting it in the kitchen. Did I forget it in her house? He now said I should call her. I called her. She now said no, that I took the food. She said, what do I mean? That where is the food? I said, no. That I've not even checked. I'm coming. I just found a story. So I went upstairs and found one of Pastor K's cousins in the house, someone who was living with us at the time. And so I woke him. I said, did you see food that was in the kitchen? He said, oh yes, he ate it. Yeah. Every Jesus in me. That day I almost gave up my salvation. The way he dismissed me, that he ate it. The only food in our house. I said, you ate it as in you finished it? Yes. You finished a full cooler that they served for 2 people. And my mom is very generous in serving food. He said, yes. And turned over and slept. I was going in when Pastor K catch me from back, dragged me come out for that room. God, I was mad. Went through in-law story, we survived that one. Oh yeah, now we don't reach, come born now. Stories that touch. Church pressure on call, we survived everything. The point is this. When you guys are together, you can't beat anything. I'm not saying that your marriage is going to be rosy. You wake up in the morning, there are angels singing in your room. Oh, all those things. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. Your bed will somehow turn to cotton candy. And you know those lala dreams that we have, all those things. And then when you have your babies, they don't cry. Anytime they open their mouth, it's melody from heaven. You have babies that will cry for no reason, cranky, everything. You'll be tired. You'll be tired, you'll be frustrated. You will have bills you may not be able to pay. You have all those things. But the fact that you have each other and you are together, you're on the same side. Remember I told you one of the first 5 lessons I told you is that we're on the same team. We're on the same team and we are a team. You know, so beating the odds together. So marriage is not going to be perfect. It will never be perfect, but the whole point of marriage is that everything that is thrown at you, you win together. Okay, so number 10, and then I'm done for this section. Another thing I learned in marriage is don't compare your marriage to any other marriage. Marriage is different. Everybody's marriage is different. So don't compare yourself. I think it was easy for me because as a person, I don't know whether it's my personality or my upbringing, but as a person, I'm very satisfied as a person. I'm very content. I've never had to struggle with jealousy. Unforgiveness, yes, but jealousy, never. Never. I've never been jealous of anybody or envious. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy. If it makes you happy, I'm happy for you. I would never really say, hey, I wish it was me. I've never had that. That's one of the emotions I've never really dealt with. Even when I wasn't getting pregnant, I wasn't jealous. I was sad that it wasn't happening for me when I wanted it, but I was never jealous of anyone else who had gotten pregnant. I never had those moments of, hey, God, I wish it was me. Never. I knew my time would come. I just wanted it to come quickly. So I've always been very satisfied and very content. But I find that a lot of people struggle with it. So this person's husband, this is how this person's husband is. I've never compared my husband to anyone else. I've never had those moments where I feel, why can't you be more like this person? Why can't you be more like that person? And I think it's important because comparison is the thief of joy. So when you're so busy comparing your marriage to someone else, you're not enjoying the marriage that you have. Enjoy your marriage. Don't compare it to anyone. I always tell people, I don't care. I don't care if your husband buys you a house. I don't care if your husband buys you a car. I don't care if your husband buys you a private. If your husband buys you a private jet and all my husband can afford is a broom, I will learn how to drive broom like all these people in Benin. I'm just saying. But my point is, I'm okay. And that's one of the things that has given me the greatest joy. I'm satisfied with what we have. When we're drinking garri, I was satisfied. When we're eating rice, I'm satisfied. When we're drinking cornflakes, I'm satisfied. When we didn't have children, yes, I was sad, but I was satisfied. I learned to enjoy the time we had together. I kept telling myself, they will come, so let's enjoy what we have, Let's travel the world now that we can. Let's write books now that we can. Let's, get on TV now that we can. Very content with what I have. So comparison will destroy your marriage. Don't compare your partner to anyone else. Don't compare your marriage to anyone else. In these 15 years, I've learned that what I have is good enough for me, and that's why God gave it to me. So that's it for this week. Okay, bye everyone.
15 lessons with Pastor M. Take one.
Thank you. It says 15 lessons. You can't say no, I no learn 15 lessons with Pastor M.